Alright, now I'm going to give my bit now on the MacBook Air. Now, I will admit, I didn't watch all of the WWDC, and I was just going off of comments, and when I saw MacBook Air, I did make the error and assume that it was a replacement model, and to my relief it was just an addition to have an ultra compact. So I had some misunderstandings in the beginning. But yes, the ultra compact is for travelers. I used to travel a lot in business, and then I use my own MacBook right now when I need to go off-site just around town, demoing or exchanging code. And I'll get to that because these are things on why I wasn't that impressed with the MacBook Air. But going point by point with what emeek had said on his video, I appreciate the thinness and the ultra compactness of the product and the actual form factors that they had to make to get it to work in such a slim model. I will agree with emeek that I think people that are a little upset about the price, the smaller that technology gets, the more expensive it gets, and that's just inherent. It's really true. I mean, especially with solid state drives, no one can escape that. No vendor can escape that. It's just a very costly and expensive technology at this time. The smaller we make products, or let's say we break. I don't want to say that because I mean we obviously have mobile devices that are inexpensive, but let's say that we pay the price when we break form factors that have been a standard to a more compact form factor of the one it's succeeding from, and that is costly because you change an entire setup and it's a whole new design, a request for new parts that quite frankly the demand is not there yet, and or the technologies behind it are super expensive in getting it out. So we pay for something like that, and completely the price via the MacBook Air is justified in that the technology is simply expensive. There's nothing Apple can do about that. I mean, they could simply just not offer that product, but I think they want to enter the ultra compact, and there's certainly other vendors that are doing that, and it is popular for travelers. I would say people who have their stuff organized ahead of time, that they're not going to have to do things, and it's just really something that's going to be presenting out. You're doing constant seminars as salesmen, they go out. I myself, when I go out, I can't. I have too much transfer of data when it goes from code to code and all that, and I'll get to that on the next point when the optical drive comes up. The reason why I'm not impressed with that is I was arguing the principle of the idea. I would expect Apple to come up with a CD that would work. Integrated, I mean internal CD that would work in that MacBook and pull off its size. That would have been impressive to me. Yes, it's impressive the form factor, motherboards and other things that they've gotten. They have achieved the smallest so far, but it would have been impressive to me to see a slot drive, CD, DVD in there. That's an Apple move, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to argue that it's underpowered. That's not really a moot point for me. Again, when people say that, they're comparing the price, and at least in they being consumers have a legitimate argument. They can certainly make that argument and say that being the smallest notebook in the world is not a priority over having more power. So I mean, they're just set aside opportunity costs for whatever model that they choose. I think a lot of people are trying to find a place for it in their heads as a consumer, and a lot of them can't make that match. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of people arguing. They're trying to find places where it fit. They're amazed by its size and its beauty, but as consumers, they're having trouble. Okay, where I severely disagree with you, emeek, is that it's supposedly revolutionary to get rid of this optical drive. One, well, because you had a floppy drive comment. Apple decided to get rid of the floppy for itself. Intel was the major pusher to remove it from the rest of the market, and it had to do with having to support legacy, parallel ports, so on and so forth. Did Apple do it first? Yes. But it wasn't because Apple had decided. The floppy drive went away because CDs came along. Why would anybody want a floppy drive once you're able to have CDs? And once it becomes a standard, so it's not Apple killing the floppy. The floppy was destroyed by the CD. And the CD will probably go away to DVD, and then who the hell, whatever's next after the DVD will get blown away by that. The optical drive will not be replaced by wireless anytime soon. 802.11n is still not gonna make up for the lack. I mean, even if you go around the world, people are always bitching about their bandwidth. The Wi-Fi is not going to replace this kind of medium for quite a while. Yeah, I'm certainly excited that we want to push that envelope, and we should keep doing so. But it's something has to be faster to kill the optical drive. The optical drive in general, when you're saying, could be any optical media, not just a CD, DVD, or whatever's going to be the next deal coming out. So I completely and utterly disagree with you on Apple deciding to get rid of the optical drive on that in favor of wireless. It would be a completely bad move. No, I think they're getting rid of the optical drive specifically on their ultra compact because unfortunately maybe they weren't able to fit it in and they had to come up with something else. But where you're also very severely wrong is that it's revolutionary on how they share the optical drive. Completely false. I know in comments that I said that I had optical farms. That was based on another statement that I had made a wrong assumption. I had thought that Apple made this external optical drive that was wireless, that would connect to the base station or whatever, and it was 802.11n, and you could get it. I mean, I had based that on the comments that I was reading, and I misunderstood that. But you brought up it's not in the home. That is also crap, and I'm going to show you. Okay, this is coming from my G5. Okay, look at that CD right there. That's a musical CD, right? Now, here is my MacBook. You can see I don't have any landline or anything like that, right? Right there in front of you, wirelessly, I am reading already the CD coming from my G5 over my Wi-Fi, right? Okay, now let's go to Windows. Now, Windows, I'm going to open it up here. I have a game CD, Vegas, Rainbow Six. I don't know if you can see that there. Let me zoom in. See that? R6 Vegas. Okay. On my MacBook. Look at that. That comes from Windows. There you are. So what's my point? Nothing is revolutionary about that. They could not get an optical drive in the MacBook Air, so they had to come with a way to get it. The technology is already there. It's extremely simple to share CD-ROMs in Windows and go over the network. My wife can do it, and she's not even a computer guru at all. Most of my friends can do it. Anyway, a lot of people know how to share optical drives within Windows. At least I hope so. They would know how to do it in Mac. I mean, it's the same thing. I just showed how I can share my G5 optical drive and my Vista optical drive Wi-Fi to my MacBook over there. It's already there. The only thing that they would be doing is they wrote a program that automates the settings that you have to go through on SMB or AFP, whatever you use on the Mac to share your optical drives. That to me, writing something, yes, you can say that's what Apple's known for, to make things just work. But that's not that impressive, okay? It's not a revolutionary thing. They didn't create the apparatus and network protocols and everything to get your stuff shared. So they're addressing an issue of people still needing a optical drive, and that's the avenue that they chose, alongside with the external USB powered optical drive that you can buy for $99.